There you go. It works for them, huh? Okay. I wrote this introduction in AI as kind of a cute way of introducing it, but this presentation is so comprehensive and good. I'm not going to waste time talking myself. I'm going to make an introduction, a handoff, and get out of the way. So let's talk about AI. We're going to start with Lisa from 50 Flowers. Here's your mic, by the way.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And,
Okay.
take it away.
And basically, just to give you an idea of what to expect, we're each going to talk for about 10 minutes about how we use AI currently, and then that will leave us time at the end for lots of questions.
Hopefully.
I hope I can get, can everyone hear me? I hope I can get through this. I hope I can get through this in 10 minutes, okay? So I want to start off with this. Welcome to our panel. Today, Ryan, Sam, and I are going to share how adopting to AI is changing our business habits and buying us back time to enjoy life. I am one of the tools that Lisa is most excited about this week. From a script, you can create an AI-generated studio-quality videos in over 150 languages. I can also create video based off your product URL.
Okay, I have a question already. Why are you talking about yourself in the third person in that video?
It's not me. This is an avatar that I created with a tool called HeyGen, and they started in 2022. Last year, they did $35 million in sales, and heads up, it's still not perfected, but people are using it. I reached out to them. This is not the avatar I wanted to show y'all, and they kind of stood me up. And that's something that's very important about AI, is it's going so fast.
But to make sure you didn't miss that, because I was really just teeing you up to freak them out. She did not record this video. That's not her. She just uploaded a URL and said, make a video of me talking about it. Or here's a script.
Oh, I wrote a script.
Exactly.
Yeah. In fact, when I first came across...
She deepfaked herself.
I deepfaked myself,
Yeah.
which we talked about today, and I was like, oh, well, I guess I did. Secondly, last night, after our dinner party, I went back to the room. I had my outline of this presentation, and I put it in here. This is not my typical presentation. I would not stand up in front of people and talk about it this way, but I am doing this to show you. Within 10 minutes, I created this presentation. Okay, let's hope I can get it to work.
What was the program called again?
HeyGen. Oh, and by the way, at the end of this, we're going to ask for your email, and the three of us are compiling our list of all of these programs, what they are good for, so you will have them. We're going to share that. Secondly, we are starting a WhatsApp group that is going to be AI for Flowers, and everyone in this community that joins the WhatsApp, we're going to reach out to you and say, hey, do you know this? And we're going to be there to answer. I also am going to say, for the three of us, very humble people, and we're not experts. We didn't get a PhD. We're just go-getters. Now, AI, look at this. In 1999, Netflix, it took them 3.5 years to get to 1 million users. ChatGPT, 5 days in 2022. So that's how fast we're going. And I'm really excited to talk about ChatGPT, custom ChatGPT's HeyGen, and then we didn't get to Meta Glasses last time. I can talk about Meta Glasses. You can see me in the show, and I'll talk to you about Meta Glasses. Okay. It's really important to say the three of us are early adopters, and we've been working on this for a long time. I can speak for myself. I run a team of 65. I have an e-commerce platform. We sell about, we deliver to about 3,000 weddings a week. We are delivering flowers for, and that's my B2C channel. I also have a B2B channel, and I also am very active in just producing content. Now, I'm a busy CEO, and I've had to grapple with the fact I don't have enough time to do everything. And I really rely on my team, and I rely on my automation. These guys are going to give extremely practical, this is how they've implemented in their businesses. I have people who support me. I have 10 full-time programmers, 2 of which have their PhD in machine learning. And I give them the projects. I find them, I give it to them, and they help me adapt to them. I'm a hot mess when it comes to like really getting in and learning how to do it. Like Midjourney, I tried, and it's too much brain power for me. My brain is used as a visionary. And I know that I'm looking at people who use the Culture Index, and I learned that when I got my Culture Index profile. So, ChatGPT. It is my choice personally to use. And I go to ChatGPT because I've trained it. Number one, pro tips. Use the close or open loop. What is the difference? The closed loop is the paid version. It costs $25 a month, and it keeps your information out from training the ChatGPT, okay? And it's still not 100% protected. Second off, train it like a dog. I always love to say, you gotta tell it to sit down, roll over, and sit pretty. The more specific you can get with your ChatGPT, the better. And learn to prompt it. In fact, we've been talking about it here. You can ask it how to prompt itself, and it will tell you how to prompt it. And then trust and verify. You know, just because they say it, you don't know if you can really, you fact check it. Also, I personally do not use ChatGPT for spreadsheets. I flip over to Claude because I found that the accuracy is much more, it's much more on spot. Automation. Oh, so with ChatGPT, I have about 145 ChatGPTs that I have created. And they're everything from my shopping list, so I can prep dinner each week. And what I've done is I've gone in and I've given it a format and said, you know, Eloise, my younger, she hates tomatoes. And Alex won't eat any meat that's not organic. And I've given the list of the grocery stores that I like to go to, and the way that I like, you know, I like to stop at Whole Foods first, then Trader Joe's, then Albertsons. And then I also tell it, you know, I want to buy my milk from Whole Foods, not Albertsons, unless it's on sale. And I've also populated with all the recipes, and I give it, it can tie into my schedule to know when I need to cook at home, when I don't. And I can say, Sunday night, I can type in, hey, I would like to have my list for this week. And within 30 seconds, I have a shopping list. I've taught it. I want it to all be grouped by this right here is my dairy, this is my meat, this is my staples, these are the spices I need. In fact, I can even go take a picture of what's in my refrigerator and pantry and put it in there, and it'll tell me if I need to get more cinnamon or not to make that apple crisp. So it's all about automation. Something that used to take me forever, and I would buy 3 things of cinnamon, I no longer have to do. It is so easy for me to push a button and get it done.
We were impressed when they put TVs on our refrigerators.
Yeah.
Our fridges are going to be telling us what we need.
Well, and then here's another thing that I could even up it one more, is I could feed it into Instagram and get it all delivered. But I like to shop, personally. Other ways that I automate is I'm very busy, and time, you're gonna hear us talk about, it's all about buying my time back. I have a personal assistant, but I also have a AI assistant. I use Notion, and it will pop up and tell me, you have a meeting in 3 minutes. Not only that, I have a note taker, which is read.ai. It comes into every single one of our meetings, and it will take notes. It summarizes your to-do list. It actually will prompt other people to sign up for it too if you're in the meeting.
Just because I was in a meeting with her, I got the summary, and I was like, wow, this is really impressive. So
yeah, it really keeps you and everybody else effective. You don't have, in fact, I've kind of outlawed any type of notebook in my business, because if you're gonna have to write it down and then make it digital, we're already making it digital for you and you're gonna get it. So it's one step closer for the whole team to be able to pull in and see. Now, this is the awesome part of what I do. We run on EOS. It's an operating system. And we have very strict cadence of meetings. They're called L10. We get together 90 minutes. We talk about these are our goals. And if they're off track, we ask why. We talk about it in our meetings. And we get our meeting summary. I take that meeting summary and I dump it into my EOS expert, which is a chat GPT that I've created. This is what EOS is. Okay? I have one for each different department because I share that with my team members, and I don't want to share my management one with my customer service team. At the end of the quarter, I can go in and very easily get down what do we do well, what are we struggling at, and what should be our goals. This is a process that you sit down the night before, you're going to have your big, rock planning meeting, and it would take me forever. Now, the chat GPT remembers everything, and it tells me exactly what our lowest hanging fruit is instantly. So chat GPT, it's great with automation. Human touch, you never, ever rely on just AI to do everything for you. It does 80% of what we do, but we also tweak everything and look at everything before it goes live anywhere. And that includes, we use it for our coding. We use it for code proofing. We had this passion project with one of my Gustavo, who's in Guayaquil. And it took us forever. We take so many pictures and we're producing so much content. And we would have to have 3 outside people go through, resize, rename, this, make sure it was all in shape and it was taken care of. Well, we built our own imaging processor that sits on our ERP system. And now we take the picture, upload it, and it's taken care of. So we still, even though it does all that work for us, somebody has to look at that picture to publish it and put it on our website. Know thy community. This is where I started with nothing. I'm a little girl from Texas that has big dreams, and I'm just curious. I am so curious, and there are so many places, trial and error, correct? That's how we've all learned what we're doing. Second off, make sure that you stay focused on your goals, because all of these platforms are moving so fast, and things are popping up so exciting that they can be shiny stars. And I might just be speaking to myself in the mirror when I'm talking about that, but there is so much going on. Next, platforms. Because it's moving so fast, make sure that if you invest in a platform, like we have chosen Jasper to invest in to create all of our content and written content. And the reason why we chose Jasper, it used to be Jarvis, they've been around forever. It's because not only are they looking to the future, they're coupling with AI and AI SEO. They're also out there and they're building a community to support the community. So make sure when you choose your platform, you're just kind of looking out. And I know I'm talking really high level here, and there might be some people that still are, questioning, should I get into AI? Should I touch AI? The more you practice, the more you'll become familiar with it. People, we talked about it before. You have to have the human touch, and AI is powerful. However, it's not magic, and it requires proper setup. You have to have, when we brought on Jasper, I was like, okay, let's go run with it. All you people go learn how to do it. Well, no, we pulled that back, and now Jen stepped in. She's our Jasper expert, and now she has learned it. She's trained it. She's taught it. It's got our brand voice. It's got our sentiments. It's got all the information that it needs to be able to then give out to the rest of the team. And your guardrails. Make sure you have an internal and external policy. For example, we will never ever put a picture of a flower that is AI generated on any of our platforms, whether it be social, blog, e-commerce, anywhere. And I am now going to pass it on to Sam here. And if you have questions as we're talking, please ask.
Especially while we're transitioning.
Yeah, forgot about that. There you go. No questions?
No.
How did you choose your platforms? Was it just like, you just check them all out and you kind of look at
Yeah.
what you're...
Yeah, and they've evolved. You know, it's interesting. You talk about making a meme or making like your avatar. I remember a year ago working on an avatar that I have in my phone, and everyone's like, "What did you use?" I'm like, "I have no idea," because that was a year ago. You're constantly evolving, and that's where building your community and asking the questions is really important.
What was the note-taking?
Read.ai.
And we're going to put everything we mentioned is going to be on the PDF that we share. Probably we'll end up just sending it out to all conference attendees, but definitely if you come up and get the code. My name is Sam Bowles. I'm the GM at Allen's Flowers here in San Diego, a retail florist. Any other retailers in the house? I know we're few and far between here. Okay. Growers? Most wholesalers? Other? You're supposed to be at the dermatology conference. You're in the wrong room? Okay. So I have been using AI for a couple of years. I'm definitely an early adopter of technology. It's a common thread between the three of us. I would say that in the last year, however, I finally reached the point where it's making me, I'm using it in ways that are actually more efficient. If I'm being honest, in the beginning, I was playing with it, and I knew that I was. I think even my boss who's in the room today would say that in the beginning, I would come down to his office and say, look at this goofy poem that ChatGPT wrote that has nothing to do with our business, and we would go hee hee ha ha. And now I come down and say, look at this really awesome thing that ChatGPT did that's very much for our business. So like many of you, I wear a lot of hats in our business. So we have 6 locations in San Diego, 5 retail stores, and our central design center. I am the GM, but I'm also the plumber, the electrician, the therapist, the preacher.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You can all
We can all
relate to that. I
relate.
wear a lot of hats. So ChatGPT in particular is the platform I use the most, and that's the one that I would really recommend you start on if you're not using it right now. Not all of us. It's awesome that 50 Flowers does, but many of us don't have an in-house development team. If you do, you should be empowering them with these tools. Duh. If you don't, you can still start at a less intimidating place. How many of you are currently, if you're being honest, either a little afraid of it or you just haven't known where to start, so you don't really use it? Most of us. Yeah, exactly. So just to make it less intimidating and give you a place to start with ChatGPT. There's a reason why you've heard of it. It's the most popular. It's the one receiving the most funding, so start there. Practically, it's literally just a website that you interact with by typing. So if you know how to type, and you know how to get to a website, that's all you're doing. There's no programming, nothing like that. Now, beyond that, what can it do for you? Well, it's kind of like any tools. If I gave you a set of tools and a pile of lumber, could you build a house if you're not a carpenter? Probably not. But if you were a carpenter and I gave you good tools, would it make you more efficient in building a better house? Absolutely. So think of AI in the same way. Will it make your digital creative team more efficient, faster, and better? Yes. Will it allow me, who knows nothing about Photoshop and that stuff, just to type in, make me something perfect right now? It's not there yet, but it is a tool that will make whatever you do or can make whatever you do more efficient. So I have 4 buckets of ways that I generally use it that I want to share with you today. The first one is as my brainstorming buddy. I sat in on an AI session a year ago at SAF. She talked about 30 different platforms, a ton of high-level stuff. There was lots of good information. And my single most valuable takeaway from that session was her saying, when you don't know where to get started on a project or when you're just having a hard time getting going, pull up ChatGPT and write, I need to get started on this project, and I don't know where to start. Yeah. Quite literally, I do it all the time. Another hat I wear is I'm the marketing guy. And on Mondays or Tuesdays at 7:30 a.m., my brain is not firing to come up with yet another subject line when I just want you to order more flowers from me. How many different ways can I say it, right? So here's an actual example of a screenshot where I said, hey, I'm working on a marketing email for today, and I think I'm going to promote National Couples Day, this new made-up holiday, apparently, that Gen Z created on TikTok. Can you help me come up with the subject lines and some basic copy for the email that combines a general brighten the weekend with flowers and National Couples Day? You can ask for 5 of them. You can ask for 10. You can ask for 15. That's something with AI you're going to see with Ryan as well, that use AI because it costs nothing except hitting enter to create an abundance of ideas so that then you can pick from the group what works the best. Sometimes I really can just copy and paste one of its ideas. Most of the time, the ideas themselves are like, okay, that gives me a spark. I'm going to use the first half of that one, and I'm going to use this part of the other one. Now, here's an important part. I do all of that in the same thread every single time. So I use the same email marketing thread anytime I'm doing email marketing. And when I make my decision, I go back to my thread and I say, hey, you did a good job, good effort, but what I actually ended up going with was this. And I paste in what I created because it's learning from me. And it'll compliment you and say, you're so smart, I could have never come. But it's an ego booster as well. No, in all seriousness, well, that's because I prompted it and said, I need an ego boost, can you compliment me as often as possible? Yeah, exactly. Here's another creative email way I used it. You know, again, just creating cute content. Did it recreate the wheel? No. But did it make a cool Valentine email? Write a roses are red style poem about the importance of order. These are screenshots. So everything you're seeing is, that's what I typed and this is what it spat out. So use it as your brainstorming buddy, not just for email marketing, but also I came back from SAF last year, also inspired to completely redo our job descriptions. I wanted every job description to have associated employee evaluation and metrics. And honestly, the task just seemed really daunting. And so for that reason, it's one of those things I just kept moving to. We'll tackle that next week. I started it by typing into ChatGPT. I've been putting this off for too long. Where do we start? With it, now, how much of the writing did it do? In the end, I would say maybe it produced actually 50% of the written content, but through a 2-week collaborative process of me working with ChatGPT, sending it out to my managers, getting their feedback, dumping their feedback back in, and then in the end, me doing the editing and putting it together, I was able to get that project across the finish line. The next way that I use it is as an administrative support. Because again, I wear lots of hats. So if you're the person who responds to your online reviews, or again, a lot of what we're sharing is this may not be you, that's fine. Go back to your team member who does this and say, hey, I want to invest in you. Spend the $25 a month. I want you to spend a little bit of time playing in ChatGPT to see how this tool could help you do this better. So I use it to respond to our online reviews now, because you look good responding even to the good ones. Particularly the 5-star ones, I can almost just copy and paste it because it's like you're not speaking to any issue. You're just creatively saying, oh, that's awesome. We can't wait to do it again. You can even say, and I've tried it, like, let's have fun with this one. We're a cool Southern California company. Let's do it in a surfer voice. And it's good at that kind of thing. So that's a practical application. I use it to help me draft difficult emails. I'm an English major. I have a master's degree in English. I've taught college English, so I do know how to write. It's not about not knowing how to do something. It's just about being more efficient. So here's a real prompt. I need to write a very brief, less is more, and professional response to the email below sent by an employee who was recently terminated. I don't want to respond point by point. This was one of those, I just got fired and here are 75 bullet points of all my issues with you and everyone else. There was one of the 75 points that needed to be spoken to just for legal cover my ass reasons. I needed to acknowledge that point and that it would be covered. This is the email it produced, which actually I was pretty much able to copy and paste. It was exactly what I asked for. Now, could I have written this email? Yeah, I could have written it probably in 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes. But again, it was 7:45 a.m. and I didn't have the brain power. And why did I need to waste the brain power on that? I don't know if it's true, but I've often heard, this story all my life that I attached, that someone once asked Albert Einstein for the phone number of a good friend of his, and he said, I don't know. And they're like, I can't believe with a brain as big as yours, you wouldn't know your best friend's phone number. And he said, why would I waste any brain space with something that's so easily accessible at the time in a phone book or his notebook? It's a little bit like that. Yes, you could do it, but will it make you more efficient and allow you to do more in the day? I really think the second to last paragraph captures the brilliance. It really caught what I was after. While decisions regarding employment are never easy, they're made with careful consideration. We're grateful for your efforts and the dedication you showed during your time with us. And that was the end of the conversation. I sent this email. I responded, but didn't really speak to the points because that would have just become a back and forth, and that was the end. So use it for that. Product descriptions. This is a good example of how the technology changes really rapidly. We've joked that we can watch this video in 6 months or maybe even a month and we'll laugh at some of the things we said. Even 6 months ago, if I uploaded this exact image and said write a product description, I was impressed with what it did, but it didn't name any specific flowers. 6 months ago, it said It's a vase arrangement featuring a vibrant mix of gorgeous flowers and bright spring colors, let's say. This time, again, you're seeing exactly what it spat out. First of all, now it's getting cocky because I didn't ask it to name it for me. I just asked for a product description. And now it's introducing me to the Sunlit Serenade, which, low-key, that's actually a pretty good name, so maybe I'll keep that in my back pocket. But look at the description. It features a cheerful mix of sunflowers, pink roses, orange spray roses, purple stock, and lush green hydrangeas. Like, it batted pretty well. It's good to go. Now, will I clean some of that up? Of course. This product was already done, but you can see how, again, it helps you get a good start. I've actually been going back through our website and revisiting products we uploaded pre-AI, because we'll throw an image on just to sell it, and I can see when I uploaded that image 3 years ago, I didn't spend the 30 minutes to write a good product description. It was like, here's another vase of pretty flowers, buy it. The picture speaks for itself, And all of this makes us look good and helps us clean it up. The last one, I had an employee who needed to order enough moss to cover an 8-foot by 8-foot wall, I think, or whatever it is. And she ordered 40 cases. And I was like, that sounds like a lot of moss to me. And so I had the idea, really just because I was doing this presentation. I jumped in ChatGPT and said, I need to cover 48 square feet of moss for a decorative wall. The box of moss says it covers 2 cubic feet. I'm sorry, it doesn't cover. The box of moss says it contains 2 cubic feet. I already told you I was an English major, so we already went way beyond my mathematical abilities. You can see it did the work. Now it said, there are some variables here I don't know, like the exact moss or how thick you want it, but I like how proactive it is because it said, let's assume you're going to do 2 inches and let's just assume an average kind of moss, and it came up with you probably need 4 boxes. So I had that manager reduce her order to, let's say, 10 boxes to make sure the project could be done because we're able to return whatever we don't open. But it makes me look better with my local partner that I'm returning only 4 or 5 boxes and not 35. So again, it was a very practical thing. The other thing I use it for is data crunching. You do have to be careful with this, and I'm going to show you that in just a second. What I find it good for is dumping in some data and really quickly seeing where do I need to dig deeper. You don't want to base the entirety of your business decisions on the data it produces because it's still getting better at doing that, and sometimes it just gets it wrong. But if you do a little bit of cleanup to the data in Excel or numbers, and if you take it with a grain of salt, it can point you in the right direction. So here's a practical example. The newest of our retail stores is a location in Chula Vista, and we opened it in April. And we wondered how much of an effect did having a new location in Chula Vista have on our web and delivery business for Chula Vista. And so I had the idea the day after Mother's Day, let's see if ChatGPT can help me with this project. So I exported all of our web orders from last May. I exported all of our web orders from this May. I pulled those up in Excel and deleted columns I don't need, like columns including my customers' their own data, because I just needed zip codes and numbers of deliveries. I left product value as well, because I wanted to do some calculating there. And I told it, I said, we opened a new store in Chula Vista. I want to see if it's had any effect on deliveries to that area. I didn't even have to tell it what zip codes to work with. It came up with the zip codes. So it took the data and it produced this little chart for me, which Brad, again, I said my boss is sitting here. He can vouch for getting this email. I looked pretty good the day after Mother's Day, sending an email to Brad and his mom that I called an executive summary of the Mother's Day holiday. And I had all these cute little charts. And what we saw very quickly is the business overall for Mother's Day saw growth of 10%, but the zip codes in Chula Vista saw growth of 30%. So that pretty directly answered the question that we were asking on that day and made us feel good about it. Another thing I've done is taken a bunch of customer emails and customer support tickets and dumped them in and said, I want you to help me analyze for this period of time what were the most common issues that customers were having issues with. It was a surprise to me that delivery issues were the #1 thing. And for the period of time I was crunching here, look at flower freshness is only 4%. Brad hasn't even seen this. So that's got to make us feel pretty good that flower freshness only represented 4% of the problems, but delivery handling was almost 50%. That was a surprise to me. And that was an indication to me, hey, I need to do more digging here. Could the data be off? Yes, but this was at least enough that I was like, I need to dig deeper. Another thing I wanted to analyze is how efficient is my team in resolving customer issues when they do reach out. And so I ask it, let's focus on customer interactions column to judge how efficiently we resolve things. group them by 1 to 2, 3 to 4, 5 plus. Now this one I liked because 94.12% of the time my team resolves the issue in 1 to 2 interactions, which is the goal. Finally, I'll just say on the data crunching, if you even only kind of know how to use Excel or Google Sheets, it will make you a wizard. So here's a real example that could be very practical for all of you. Let's say prices are going up and you realize, like, damn, I just got another bill. I want to raise this entire line by 10% right this second, but we use area pricing, so I also want to round to the nearest dollar so that I want to round to the nearest dollar, but I want to use area pricing where everything ends in 0.95. You can see the prompt I typed in exactly. I even say if I want the column to pull the contents of column A and do this with it, what is the formula that I need? You can copy and paste that formula right into your cells in Google Sheets or Excel, and it's exactly what you want. Now, could any of you taken the time to do this exercise? Increase everything by 10%, then make it a whole dollar amount, then subtract 5 cents. Yeah, any of us could do it. Is this a lot faster and more efficient? 100%. Obviously, you can see how. Finally, the last area, the way I use it is as an employee resource. And this has been the final part for me because I want to be careful. I'm the one playing with it and figuring it out. And then when I get to something that's practical and usable, I go to the right person to empower them with that. I'm doing 2 things. One is I've empowered my customer service team with ChatGPT, and I've shown them how to use it. So I have said, if you have a particularly sticky email and you want to get some help, here's how you use it. Share the email, share the response you're thinking about writing if you already drafted it, or even just say, help me draft a response. You can upload a PDF that contains our policies and procedures. So it also has the context of that in helping form the response. And it just gives them more confidence. As someone who also taught high school English, writing skills are not something that everybody feels particularly confident in, including many of our customer service employees. And so it gives them more confidence. The other thing that's been even better, I don't know if any of you use Grammarly or if you used Grammarly back in the day. I used Grammarly when it first came out, and it was kind of cool, but I moved on with my life. I've rediscovered it recently because it's a whole new product powered by AI, to the point that it was worth the investment to make sure all of my customer service team had access to it on their machine, because it doesn't just check your grammar anymore. It will fix tone. You can ask it, like, is this professional? Can I be more direct? These are screenshots showing you how it works, and you can even set up the voice that you need to use for a given conversation. Like, I need to be more confident. I want to be witty here. I want to be casual. I want to be formal. I'm also thinking of you wholesalers and growers. Like, another fun way I use it is anytime I'm sending a card or a letter to my nieces or nephews, I use ChatGPT to do something goofy. So like my nieces, we were sending her a birthday card, and I said, write a birthday poem for a 5-year-old that talks about being as magical as unicorn poop. Like, I just knew she would think that was funny, and so that's all I gave it. And it produced something that was better than the greeting card, and that's how I'm her favorite uncle, right? So it also makes me look good in that sense. Now, how does this apply to you if you're a salesperson for a wholesaler? Well, part of being a salesperson is you learn your accounts, right? So if you are the rep for Brad Levy, our buyer, you might know that he loves Bruce Springsteen. And so if you really wanted your email to stand out and catch his attention, you could tell ChatGPT, like, using Bruce Springsteen lyrics, help me write an email to Brad saying why he should consider placing his Valentine's Day order now to make sure I'm going to be able to get him all the boxes he needs. Again, it's cute and it's fun, but I can see the grin on his face. He would open that email, he would read that email, and he would respond to that email because it would be something different and fun. I think that's everything I have. So we'll turn it over to Ryan while he's getting set up. Any questions along the way? Yes.
When you use ChatGPT with your customer service, you're doing that in a closed loop.
Yes.
Like every ChatGPT you're doing is in a closed, like.
Yeah, like my team that uses it doesn't have access to my stuff.
Right.
Like Lisa has some of hers that are just for her and some that are shared. And it's the same for them. Yes. Yeah, it's a closed loop, yeah.
What we do is I have one that is specifically for the customer service team. And I have trained it. I've uploaded policies. It's trained on our voice and how I want our good, bad, everything reviews. And it's also trained on everything that comes through. We dump our calls in there. We dump everything in there specifically, so it's already ready to go.
So you've trained it, so to speak, ahead of opening it to the team to utilize. The team
Yes.
isn't actively trying to train it and use it and learn it and do all the
Yes.
things. You're giving them a guardrail of sorts to say, this is where we're looking.
And you might literally start by saying, here's the PDF of the policies and the procedures to attach and upload, and here is how you prompt it. You can even say, I want you to copy and paste this prompt that I wrote in order for it to know the kind of response we want it to generate.
Now, taking it a step further, we can call our prompts reply to this review. So I have trained my ChatGPT to say, when you are asked this question, I want you to answer based on this in this tone with this, et cetera, et cetera. So now, and they put in ZZZ, which is basically a way, ZZZ, to respond to a bad review. So they'll say, ZZZ, here's the review, and then it will give the response that's already been trained to answer in a way. Now, I'm very particular with my bad reviews. I still have my customer service manager read over before they
And
post it.
we're repeating a lot of things. We're repeating a lot of things over and over, and like that's
Yeah.
one of them. Yeah. Trust and verify. Even though I gave you examples where I was able to copy and paste, I did not just copy and paste, and that's really important.
It's really important. And if you are going to create your content in any AI tool, take it out, put it in Word. This is what we do, because I am superstitious and I do not want, my SEO is extremely important to me, and I babysit it. So we post in Word, we fix it in Word, I take it out of Word, I put it in notes, and then I'll go post it on my blog.
And a good example also, like the review response, and the reason I don't have it respond to reviews automatically yet, although there are some plugins for that. I remember I had told it to be cool and surfy, and then it had a review that was about a funeral arrangement that had not gone right. That's not a good
Not
one to be
bro,
like,
yeah.
hey bro, hang five, everything will be all right in the end. We're sorry,
That's pretty good.
the tone did not work for that one. I do a good Southern accent as well.
So, to take a step back, under your paid account, you're creating different AI engines that then you're either using yourself or sharing with
So
your
for me
team?
personally, I'm using my own threads within an AI that's for me. It's like anything, there are different approaches depending on how your company works. It could be that it's more economical to have some individual licenses for people, or you reach a point where it's like, we need a company plan and I need 50 licenses, and then you can start to share specific project areas.
So each one of those closed machines that you would build for a particular purpose is a separate license under.
I don't use a company license yet, so I can't speak to that. But no, it's not. If you do go the company route, then it's like anything where you control at the top level who has access to certain projects and who doesn't.
If you look here, these are some of my chat GPTs over here.
And so what you feed into one of those machines, the other machines don't know.
Yep.
It's just what you fed it out.
Well, it's a little bit, actually, because I asked ChatGPT this exact question. It's a little bit like the thread is the best practice. If you put it in the same thread, then it's pretty sure it will always retain a reference to it. If you're putting it in other threads but in the same account, some of it might reference, but some of it will miss, and in funny ways, because I've had it happen that I'll reference something, I'll be like, and it'll say, do this, and I'll be like, I just told you yesterday that we don't do that. And then I'll be like, oh yeah, you're right, I see that now. And I'm like, but within the same thread, that happens a lot less.
Okay, so in the instance where she's created several that you, like Liza, you're saying you created several you use for yourself and several you share with your team. The ones shared with your team, they couldn't necessarily query one of the other engines and get information out of that.
Exactly, no.
Okay.
Okay, here's a really great example of how you create your own chat GPT. I own my building, and our second floor, the air conditioning went out. And all of a sudden, and we've had record heat, so I've gotten a lot of complaints from my tenants, as you can imagine. And my chief of staff is like, I'm tired of this. So I created this. And this is, you're gonna become an expert property manager as if you're a trained lawyer who is empathetic and understanding to our tenants at the same time fair for the business. Okay, I trained it, I took every one of those leases, dumped it in here, and now I can come across and I get a letter from, you know, that dude who's just prickly. I put it in here and say, just as what Sam did, help me answer it. And it can pull all of the data of my leases.
And it's better suited to do that than your chat engine that's about creating unicorn poop poems for your
Exactly.
nieces.
This is a very specific,
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of want to tell you what I'm doing with my ex-husband, but I'm not going to. I have a ChatGPT that helps me deal with him.
That's wild.
It is hilarious. What?
No,
I
for sure.
don't care.
And he thinks he's arguing with you.
I know, it's what Now, I do take that
like, how'd she get so
out, and
good?
I do tweak it. I do not copy and paste that stuff.
Hey guys, I'm Ryan Black. I'm the marketing media director for Jeff Fresh Flowers. For those of you who know us, we are very much a marketing forward company. So I'm going to share with you guys today some of the content creation, creative side of AI. They focus more on the business end. This is more of the creative design end. So basically, at the end of the day, it's really all about time. Saving yourself time is really the main goal for us. We have a team, in our marketing team, we have 4 in Miami, 3 in Miami, 1 in Ecuador that runs our farm marketing. So we are constantly always we have 4 brands of our own company, and then we work with partnered farms all around the world, and we do marketing for them as well. So we jokingly say that we're like a marketing company that sells flowers. So marketing for us and content and having things to do, having ways to always stay creative and fresh and new and different is a goal of ours for sure. I myself, I'm a graphic designer, I'm an artist, so I work with I have the knowledge of already like Photoshop and those kinds of programs and things like that. But using AI has just helped me with more tools on my tool belt to make things quicker, faster, seamless, and easier. So I'm going to show you a few different examples and stuff like that. Our company ourselves, we use that top section of image generating programs. ChatGPT is pretty basic. You can do pretty much some simple stuff there. Midjourney is what we use mainly for image generation, just because you get really high definition results, high quality results. Like I said, I work with the Adobe suite, so Photoshop, it's got built-in AI where you take a product picture or something like that, you could literally be adding AI into the image live. Firefly is their version of Midjourney, which I'll show you guys an example of a unique way of why I use different programs, because each one has got a strength that the other one doesn't necessarily have. Illustrator, there's got AI built into Illustrator where you can get text to vector images. I don't know if any designers would know. That's very useful. Canva, WhatsApp, they all have built-in AI as well now, and that list on the bottom there is just a bunch of other ones too that I haven't even gotten a chance to really explore, but they're well known and they're good as well. So I'm going to just jump right in, and I'm going to show you guys some examples of past work, live actual work that we've put out, basically using AI. So here's an example of just some of the images that we've done. Now, we don't do like product pictures. We don't use product pictures. We don't do with AI. That we're pretty strict with trying to keep that as true as natural. But social media, trade shows, flyers, our merch store, all that kind of stuff, we like to have fun with it, saving time. You can see an example of all different things here of AI being used in our work. Our farm in Ecuador, Jeff Fresh Growers, we do, our girl Amelia there, she does a lot of, she's pretty much a one-woman show, doing a lot of the marketing there on her own. So having AI tools is definitely helping her be quick and fast. Those of you who follow our social media know that we love to play with our employees and our sales team, and we like to put them in funny positions. It used to take us hours to do that. Now we can do it with ChatGPT and FaceSwap.ai. You upload the image of the person, the image of the whatever you want it to be, and then in seconds they merge them two together for you just like this. And that's just, these are like quick little email flyers, things like that, social media stuff. So it's really low risk, you know what I mean? So doesn't really drive a big problem to use that in any way. I'm showing you guys an example right here. This is Midjourney. I don't know how many of you have actually seen it working in action in real life, but it's a web-based app. This is the homepage right here. When you go on the homepage, you get to this Explore page where you can see everybody who uses it. All the images go to this page where you can see it all live. You can explore, and then right here is a live example of it just working right now. I'm typing in a prompt, and it's going to show you how quickly it'll give you a few results. You could tweak it with your sizing. You could tweak it with how much stylish you want it to be, how weird you want it to be. The versions of Midjourney that you use has a different result of the final images. So yeah, that's as fast as it works. Obviously, the image is not great. It's a very quick, short prompt. The typing of the prompts is very important. But Midjourney, the way when you have an account, right now you're actually looking through. Right now you're actually looking through all the images that I've generated in the past. This is my archive of all my images that you can go through and you can re-see the history. You can take them, steal the prompts, copy and paste, stuff like that. So Midjourney is really, really elaborate. It's pretty in depth once you like start learning the ins and outs of it. There's like almost coding type stuff to it where you can do certain key phrases and words where you can get in the back end and get more specific results and stuff like that. But that's a little more advanced. In Miami, all of our trucks in Miami each one has a unique design. Each one is a creative billboard that we like to roll around in town and do something fun and different. This is the most recent one we've done. We have a catchphrase we say, our flowers are guaranteed to live forever, die trying. So we took that and we applied it to the truck. The images on the left are the images that I generated in Midjourney, which then I took into another AI to make it bigger, so it's print size. It's an AI built in to expand it. And then I played with it in Photoshop, and now you can see our new truck wrap. So you can see it live in person. So saved me a lot of time, which truck wraps in the past have taken me days or weeks to do. Trade shows. This is an example from NextGen, the last trade show. We did a NextGen where we went with a DJ theme as our booth, and we were having our giveaways were CD cases, like the old school CD cases. Each one with the image on the left was the cover image, and the coasters in the middle was what was when you opened it inside were the coasters. And this is just a fun way we like to be different and creative, and just when we go to these shows, we do unique things to stand out from the crowd, and that's just an example of that.
We obviously got a late start, but I found it pretty amazing. What a great panel. But,